Magic in Frieren is this really well thought out system with complexity. There's rules, they broadly make sense. It's like science, isn't it? And then there's a completely separate system, which just kind of, you hold a book and hope. It's thoughts and prayers, the healing power of thoughts and prayers. Saves people, heals cats, wakes people up sometimes. It can't count cards though. There's nothing in the book about that, you can't use it to cheat. It's this other type of magic that we don't really hear much about. Now, the goddess magic is kind of its own weird thing. It's a lot deeper to Frieren lore, dating back to the very creation of this world. But it's a form of magic that's strange, and I don't think it's gotten a lot of focus. It's a fascinating part of the lore, and one I think is going to be much more important down the line. Why? It's kinda separate from other magic, but it might hold the secrets to a lot of lore in Frieren. So, those who use goddess magic get this better healing, and as a trade-off, the priests are forced to use tiny tools for some reason. Apparently looking silly doing the gardening was the covenant they made for this particular religion. I don't know, I'd take it over celibacy. It seems like quite a good deal for the priests, really. But it's another side of magic, one that isn't as much in focus, but is very useful. And on a lore level, its existence is one of the biggest hints we get about the earliest days of Frieren's world. The endgame of the modern-day quests is an element that I think maybe should be dwelled on a little more, but not that long. It's a shorter video, I think. Anyway, let's start with why this whole system is important. Why is goddess magic different? If we're unraveling the magic system, it seems there's two types, and nicely there's a cleanness in the divide. So we've got the main magic system. It's something which can do silly stuff like this, but also do a lot of the battle fighty stuff. The folk magic, battle magic, it's all the same thing. Some people approach it as a science and it can be studied, trained, etc. As far as I can gather, its main purpose is for transporting groceries though. But you can get really quite good at transporting the groceries.
I was absolutely brilliant at scanning. Tom said I was scanning even quicker than Tesco lifer Pat Bevan. Pat could barely conceal her rage.
To some people it's a lot simpler, but to most it's kinda a skill. And then there's the goddess-based magic. Shares a name with the other type, but it's a lot closer to like a softer fantasy magic. It's a subtype or different way of channeling the energy. It could pull directly from the goddess of creation as much as it uses the mana of the person doing it. As an analogy, the normal mage magic is like plumbing. Someone trained messes with the pipes and they do whatever plumbers do and fix the leak. And goddess magic, on the other hand, is like you pray for the leak to stop. You get drunk, you lose your shirt gambling, and then you harness energy from the ether that solves it for you, and you're happy. You're cold, you're a bit hungover, but you're happy the leak has stopped. Essentially, in terms of the focus and what we know about it, the magic system is quite fleshed out. It's talked about a lot. We understand the nuances of it, the rules. But with goddess magic, people pull out a book and somehow channel this power. It doesn't seem to fit any of those rules. The mages have to study and train, and the priests just get to pull out a book. People who have no other magic skills are proficient with goddess magic, so it seems to be a different skill set entirely. If Hater can perform normal magic with the same principles that he performs the book stuff, it would come up. He'd learn. It would be too helpful to everyone to not even bother. He'd at least find some kind of water into wine spell. Priests have mana, just not as much as mages, because their magic seems to come from the spells themselves. Some mages do know these spells though. We see people who have quite the aptitude to be quite good at this side of magic train as a mage instead. These kind of become like a useful double threat. Mostly though, it's a separate role, like picking things on the skill tree all over for a weird build or just focusing on one side. So what we're left with is that this incredibly important role in every party just has to be done by a priest. Why? Why is it like this? Why can't the mages just do the healing? I think that detail means there's more to learn about the goddess magic and how it links back to the mythical times. I just don't think we're quite there yet. From what we do understand though, there's something quite unique about goddess magic, and it's got a lot to do with the origin of the magic system. The Holy Scripture tells the religious story of the mythical age and goddess of creation. Priests use it to cast the goddess magic, and the text itself was given by that goddess. This all formed part of the religion. The magic is contained within the scripture. Spells are within it as like a code, a coded language, and it's taken considerable amount of time to decode even like a tiny bit of it. They don't have a Rosetta Stone to work with, I think. So clearly the goddess was quite the mage. So what we're left with is the idea that this central figure of the religion is the one that's providing that magic. They're merely a vessel for it. This magic comes through the book. There's a variety of goddess magic that we've seen, and it's quite good stuff. The healing bits especially. That's like a core skill, right? You want someone around who knows that stuff. You don't want to run an RPG party without a healer. I suppose separating it out from battle mages helps to specify roles a little more, but goddess magic can help you survive longer without eating, or, some other quite serious stuff. Mages haven't cracked the code of these spells yet. They just work because they work. The goddess of creation was sufficiently advanced that her lingering magic is still beyond comprehension. If we look at the normal mage magic to be a science, something better understood, then goddess magic is like using something without really understanding how it works. Like you gave a tank to some cavemen. You could show them how to hit a button and they could repeat that, but they wouldn't understand why it happened. It simply would. Whereas the normal magic is soul. Someone came up with each spell, it could be recreated. The glowing book and how it exactly works, that couldn't be. The book isn't necessary for everyone to do the magic. Sign seems to be able to perform the spells without the book, but most people do need the physical item to pull the magic from. I guess it's kind of like the staps in that respect, being helpful for channeling magic. But in this case, it's channeling the magic of an elf from the very emergence of Frieren's world. The goddess of creation in Frieren, a god that's all over the world, is their primary religion. Someone who seems to have actually lived. There isn't really much debate about that, whether she's real or not. This lady is the source of this magic. Potentially all magic. So who is she? She's from mythical times, not seen in yonks, basically. Some worship her, others aren't really practicing. Like they have the book and they maybe attend at Christmas. They seem to wear church robes everywhere for some reason. But they ain't praying before they eat, or getting up in time to praise an elf that's a fraction older than them? Forget that. There are two really interesting details from her depiction. She's depicted with elf ears. Now, if she is the creation deity of this world, which I think is debatable, maybe the elves are just a little more in her own image than the other people. The goddess is an elf. The figures in our story who have roots stretching back to the early part of the world, they're also elves. She's a figure who has excelled in magic, traveled around at least a little bit, leaving pieces of that magic around, and someone from so long ago, no one may remember her anymore. There's some clear parallels there. But then there's also flowers, and this is something I talk about a lot because the language of flowers is symbolically important in Frieren. In the goddess's depiction, we see she wears a floral crown, a blue one in some, which carries connotations of the flowers we get with Himmel. It conjures up the importance of folk magic, and that sometimes things can take a long time, like bringing back the blue moon weed. So there's a link here between the goddess of creation, who maybe all magic comes from, and Frieren having to have patience to fulfill a request. Now part of this could be to symbolically link it all to, nature. But I think since Frieren and those around her are tied to the idea of flowers symbolically, the goddess having that too is important. We have mage after mage after mage after mage, so powerful that she's called a god, and they're all just wallowing in the language of flowers. The history of this world is just flowers all the way down. Oh, and she has wings. I don't know what that's about. Yeah. Outside of angels? Anyone got an idea about the wings beyond convenience, just to nip to the shop for some ear cleaner? I have no idea with the wings. I mean, creation, angels, that kind of stuff, maybe, who knows? I've got a complete blank on this one. Creation aside, we know this person definitely used very powerful magic on some monuments. Her magic specifically seems to be able to linger, inhabit objects and spaces in the world, exist as a resource that future magic users can pull from and directly use. She can leave this magic physically around. We see the same thing with the sword. Monsters are drawn to destroy the sword because of the influence of that magic. There's something about goddess-type magic that seems to be naturally antithetical to some monsters in this show. It's like opposing magnets, or Smash Bros. Pros and deodorant, which I think naturally begs the question of what actually is it then? If there's physical spaces imbued with this magic and books that can conjure it, could a more skilled or even sinisterly motivated person pull more from it to use a different form? Why is it that this magic seems to invoke a natural response from monsters? What's more, I think the goddess of creation is important to all types of magic. Like the goddess magic pulls from the book from the mythical period itself, but the other magic might have started its development with this elf too. Given that we have a few elves being vital to the world's backstory, it would really fit for the originator of the magic system to be an elf from long ago too. That she's the goddess of creation, but she created the magic system. I mean, that's just a theory, though. There's a lot that's kind of open about this backstory. It's the big mystery in the magic system to me. This type of magic doesn't follow the same rules, but I do think we're probably going to find out more about it. So I guess part of what I'm driving at, this is kind of far lore, like deep background. It's the setup, and it's the kind of stuff I don't normally dwell on so much. Because the way the world is usually isn't as interesting to me as like how the people in the world existing there now are, you know? But I think this isn't just background. The setup for the world, the weirdness around the goddess magic, and the origin of all this, it could end up playing a larger role. I think the goddess stuff is a bit of a mystery box, especially considering the further magic we've seen in the manga linked to these mythical times. It's this tantalizing promise that there's something that even the older members of the cast don't remember. They're heading to heaven. Who knows what they'll find when they're actually there? I mean, it might end up being a journey as the destination kind of thing. The heavens, the friends we made along the way. I don't know. But I think it has more to do with the goddess of creation than not. And there's incidents with magic lingering around the world. Whatever force this magic is acting on, it seems to specifically want to enable Frieren's journey. And maybe she's just a bit of a shipper, really. So it's a let's see. I don't have a definitive answer because no one does yet, but a lot in Frieren is seeded early. And I think the goddess magic that's not really focused on, this might end up being another one of those things that years down the line, it just hits you in the face. I think there's more to this than just a little trick that the drunk priests get to do with a book. Hey, I've been Comfy Learn, thanks for watching. There's a sub button and quite a bit more if you liked this, you know. Alright, cheers.